Now, dear students, we have the chapter number 7, System of Particle and the Rotational Motion, and we have the topics for the discussions are here. Angular velocity, that is called the omega, is there. Relation between the angular velocity and the linear velocity, that is called the v, is there. Okay. Angular acceleration is there, that is called the alpha, but we are just discussing these terms in the part of a rotational motion. So before starting the angular velocity, I want to discuss the angular displacement is there. So little bit you can relate yourself with the concept. Okay. Quantities, those are applicable in the rotational motion. Now we want to discuss the concept of the angular displacement, that is called the delta theta. For it, I am just imagining a body which is lying in a xy plane, and the body is making the rotation about the z axis. So here we have the radius vector, that is radius vector, and this is the point that is called the p, and the radius vector is making the revolution as the body is making the rotation. So it reaches to the point p dash, and in a given interval of time, that is called the delta t. So the radius vector r dash is there. Okay, so basically we can state about the angular displacement, the angle which is swept by a radius vector in given interval of time, in given time, is called angular displacement. So this is the basic concept which we have developed here, and easily we can say that the delta theta is equal to simply the meaning of the arc upon radius. We have arc upon radius, and the meaning of the arc we have, that is p dash, is to be divided by, because this point is not having the notation that is called the c is there, so I am just writing the meaning of the radius, that is called the cp. So simply we can state that delta theta is equal to delta s upon, that is called the r is there. Okay, so this is the basic meaning we have of the angular displacement. And what are the two important things we have, those are related to the angular displacement. First is that unit, it is one of the exception quantity which having the unit. Okay, but no dimension is there, so the possible unit of the angular displacement is called the radian. So these are the objective portions which we have to be complete here. Now the dimension is there, so easily we can say that it's a ratio of the two lengths are there, so dimension less quantity is there. Okay, so m0, l0 and the t0 is the basic concept of the dimension of this quantity. Okay, now we are just able to discuss the new concept, that is called the angular velocity. Now, dear students, for the angular velocity, I am further imagining a rigid body in the two dimension there. Okay, so here we are just assuming that the particle which is lying on a surface of a rigid body, it performs a horizontal circle as the body is rotating about the fixed z axis. Okay, so the circle which having the radius r with the center c is there. Okay, so easily we can say that the time rate change of the angular displacement is called the angular velocity we have. Okay, and the particle is making a horizontal circle in a delta t interval of the time. Okay, and during this process we are just imagining the linear velocity of the particle, that is called the v. Okay, just imagine the situation as the particle is moving on a circle, so we are just imagining the velocity of a particle by a tangent. Okay, so this is the one of the concept we have. So here I have written the define, that is average angular velocity, that is called the omega average, is the delta theta upon delta t is there. Okay, so as we are just approaching the limit value of the average velocity, average angular velocity, which makes the concept of the instantaneous angular velocity. So omega instantaneous is equal to, that is called the limit value of average angular velocity. So easily we can discuss it here. So omega instantaneous, INSTANTANEOUS, omega instantaneous is equal to, as we are just applying the limit, delta t tends to 0 and the delta theta upon delta t. So we are just getting the omega is in the part of the derivative, that dy by dt of the theta. The rate change of the angular displacement is called the angular velocity. So this is the one of the basic formula we have, and we are just using the same thing which we have done in the linear motion. We have discussed the all the equations of the motion by the help of the calculus method, so we will apply the same rule to be discussed here. Okay, so this is the one of the basic formula we have. If I am just talking about the concept of the unit and the dimension, so the unit you have, that is called the radian per second, is the basic concept of the unit. Now if I am just talking about the concept of the dimension is there, so the meaning of the dimension is there, that is called the m0 l0 in t minus 1 is the basic dimension we have. Now we want to discuss the relation between omega and the v. So how can we discuss mathematically? As we are just imagining the delta theta is equal to delta s upon r is there. Okay, so this is the one of the basic equation, and we are just dividing this equation by the delta t in the both side. Okay, so I am just making the little bit changes here. Delta theta upon delta t is equal to 1 upon r is equal to delta s upon delta t is there. Okay, and we are just also approaching the limit is here. Now I am just approaching a limit, that is called the limit value of the average angular velocity. Okay, so this one is a part of it, that is omega 1 upon r is there, and this one portion regard as a linear velocity. So we are just making the concept of that omega is equal to 1 upon r into v. As we are just writing it, so we should write that v is equal to omega r. It's the simplest relation in the part of the scalar we have, that is v is equal to omega r. If someone is saying that you must write in the part of the vector notation, so I am just making the concept that v is equal to, that mean omega into r. All the things that mean linear velocity, including the angular velocity, and this is the perpendicular distance. Definitely whenever the particle is performing a horizontal circle, so it is a type of a perpendicular distance from the axis of rotation. Okay, so all the three things are perpendicular to each other here. Now to make the concept other concept clear, I am just using the further example of a rigid body which is in a, which is in the xy plane, and making the rotation about the z axis. Okay, now so many particles, the body rigid body is made up of a large number of the particles are there, so I am just representing only the two particles. Okay, so the as the body is making the rotation, so probably the rotation is there, so we are just imagining a particle that is called the p1 at the axis of rotation. So what is the kind of the linear velocity it has? So we are just using the simplest formula, that is v1 is equal to omega n r1. Okay, so when we can see easily that there is a no concept of the r1 is the that it does not perform any kind of the horizontal circle. So we can easily write that omega into, that is 0. So the particle which lying on a axis which having the 0 linear velocity. Okay, now the next point of the discussion we have, suppose we have imagine a horizontal circle of the radius r2 where the another particle that is called the p2, it makes the concept of the velocity v2. So what kind of the velocity it has? So v2 is equal to omega, and the concept of the radius is that r2. So this is the type of the velocity of the particle at a distance, at a perpendicular distance from the c2 is there. Okay, so the different particles, those having the different distances from the axis of rotation, having the different linear velocity. But in this case, as we know, the radius vector is swapping out a same angle during the rotation of a body, so probably the meaning of the angular velocity will be same for all the bodies. Okay, so it is a one of the important thing we have. Okay, now we can say that in the translation motion, when the body is making the, in the translation motion, whenever the body is making the pure translation motion, okay, from one place to another place, so all the particle having the same velocity, that is the velocity is constant to them. As simply we can assume the body is making pure rotation, pure rotation about a fixed axis, about a fixed axis. So easily we can say that omega will be same, omega will be constant for all particles, and the linear velocity, that is called the vi, is equal to omega ri, where I contains is equal to 1 to n term. Okay, where we are just imagining the body is construct by the number of the particle, then in the number of the particles are the n inside the body. Okay, so this is the one of the statics about a that mean angular velocity we have. Okay, now next point which we want to discuss, that omega, that is called the angular velocity, is a vector quantity. So how can we say that? We are just using the two concepts. Okay, right hand screw rule, thumb rule. So these are the two basic rules we have to find out the meaning of the, that mean to find out the direction of angular velocity. Okay, so as we are just approaching the concept that angular velocity, that is a vector quantity, so definitely it having a certain direction. So we are just imagining a concept of a rigid body in front of us. So I am just saying that the body is lying in a x plane and the xy plane, so it making the rotation about the z axis. Okay, so somehow we are just assuming that the particle which on the surface of a rigid body is sweeping a horizontal circle of the radius r is there, and definitely it's a perpendicular distance, and this is the concept of the linear velocity we have. Okay, and this is the concept of the omega we have. Okay, so we are just assuming that v is equal to omega vector cross r vector. Okay, so definitely we are just assuming that the velocity, linear velocity, angular velocity, and the radius vector all are perpendicular to each other. So as I am just imagining the radius vector in this direction, so this is the direction of the velocity we have, this is the direction of the perpendicular distance, that is called the radius vector we have. So this one is the third direction in which the omega is acting, okay. So simply we can say that the omega is acting along the z axis. Okay, along the z axis. Okay, so whenever we are just applying the right hand thumb rule, so the object is performing a circular motion, that means body is making the rotation. So the particle which is on the surface is performing a anti-clockwise motion, anti-clockwise motion. So definitely the thumb is indicating. So here we are just approaching the simply rule that we are just approaching the thumb is acting along the direction of the z, and that is the direction of the omega. So definitely we are just assuming as the particle is making the anti-clockwise rotation, so our finger are making the sense of the rotation is there. So the thumb is acting in the third direction, that is called the that is direction of the angular velocity. Okay, as we are just imagining the particle is making the clockwise rotation, So definitely here we're just assuming the right hand thumb rule. So whenever the particle which lying on a surface of a rigid body is making the clockwise rotation is there, okay, with the rotation of the body, so our thumb is coming in a downward direction. So whenever these two concepts are added with the angular velocity, so definitely it having the certain direction. So whenever the direction, so easily we can say that the omega is a vector quantity. So this is the one of the another statics we have. Now the next term we have for the discussion, that is called the angular acceleration, and the rate change of angular velocity is called the angular acceleration. So here we have the point of discussion, that is average angular acceleration. This is the average angular acceleration we have. So we can assume the limit value of the average angular acceleration is called the instantaneous angular acceleration, and obviously it's an analog form of the linear acceleration. Okay, so alpha can be stated as limit delta t tends to 0 delta omega upon delta t, and we can state that dy by dt of that mean omega. Okay, so here we have the another point of discussion regarding to the angular acceleration also. So whenever we are just assuming that alpha is equal to dy by dt of omega, so the certain things are associated with the average angular acceleration, that is in the part of the unit we have, that is called the radian per second square. Okay. Now next is dimension we have. So easily we can say that the meaning of the dimension we have, that is called the m0, l0 and t minus 2 is there. Okay, this is the concept of the dimension we have. Okay. Now next we have alpha is a vector quantity. So in the linear motion, whenever we are just saying that there is a change in velocity, so we have the meaning of the acceleration. So definitely acceleration will be along the direction of the velocity. So here we are can assume that the acceleration, that is called the alpha, will also act along the same direction of the omega is there. Okay, so it is a type of the vector quantity we have. So here I am just writing that as the direction of the omega is a fixed, so the direction of the alpha is also fixed. Okay. So this is the concept of the angular acceleration we have, and all the time we should make the comparison of these terms, as we are just talking about the displacement. So we have the rotational analog, that is called the angular displacement, as I am just talking about the linear velocity. So we have the analog format of the velocity, that is called the in the rotational motion, that is called angular velocity. If I am talking about the linear acceleration, so we have the another analog form in the rotational motion, that is called the angular acceleration, with the concern of the unit, dimension and their statics. Okay, thank you everyone.